Successful product development is the core success measure for many startups. What technical frameworks can help improve effectiveness and success in product development? What is the profile of an R&D leader? How important are managerial skills? How does one manage design to costs and also deliver on time? We discuss all this and more in this episode of the Suraahi podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Suraahi podcast, where we bring to you teacups of wisdom and interesting stories from across the world. We hope this podcast will support you like a good companion on your journey. On today's episode, we have Mr. Bharat Grover, co founder Vernalis Consulting, interviewing Mr. Vivek Pandey, co founder and CTO at Ecozen Solutions.
I feel very happy to be here today with you, Vivek, because having worked with you for the past 2-3 years on Ecozen's R&D, I have seen the tremendous amount of work and contribution you have done to making Ecozen a success. So I want to use this opportunity to discuss with you about how you have evolved, how Ecozen's R&D has evolved.
Right. It's my pleasure to be here, Bharatji, and I think in the past 2 to 3 years, it has been a pleasure, working with Vernalis and learning various tricks of trade when it comes to, running a company as well as carrying out R&D, core R&D at an organization. So yeah, pleasure is all mine.
Thank you so much, Vivek. Vivek, one of my first and earliest memories has been, of a time when, despite a phenomenal amount of work that you had done, there was some gap in communication about data, about field success rates, failure rates, and how that was compromising the image of R&D and the quality perception of our products.
Issues do come up with products when they go out on the field in large scales. More often than not, as human beings, when we start seeing issues beyond a certain number or beyond a certain frequency, alarms bell start ringing in our heads and makes us feel that there is everything that is wrong. That was actually happening. There were some internal conversations as well that things that are being done by R&D needs complete overhaul and stuff like that. When it came to actually digging data, because we started working with Vernalis, I remember a conversation where we talked about actual data, a PPM number or a percentage failure number. It became quite apparent that it is, either at par or well below industry standards as far as the failure rates go. I think that resonated well with the team, which essentially, gave me a conviction that if I'm able to communicate things better, as to what have been the achievements of R&D, how they are solving problems. I think that goes a long way.
Thanks, Vivek. I remember one more incident which happened where it was believed that a competitor's controllers were much better.
Right.
And actually field trials, or you guys had done lab trials, it turned out that the Ecozen controller was far superior. And yet this fact was not known to the team. So is there
Right.
is there a reason why R&D is not able to talk about its achievements? Do you think there is something in the profile of R&D people?
When it comes to our controllers, we perform much better in terms of efficiency. If I look back and think about why this communication may not be very, very clear to everyone, is probably boils down to the fact that how people are around, right? What kind of traits they carry, and directly led me to introspect that I probably also not like to talk so much about achievements. And I think that, and since it is my team, I feel that they are also very, very similar to me, and probably it is a little bit in the DNA of R&D folks. For them, something that can be very, very exciting to an external party, it can be very, very trivial to them, right? And hence they don't talk about maybe 5% additional number out there, right? But I'm not just an engineer, but I also am a person who is leading a team. It's very important to celebrate such achievements, to sensitize people in my team that this is a big deal, and that automatically would create inspiration. That has been a very good learning while speaking with folks at Vernalis, including you.
We found this to be kind of a DNA of people in R&D and product development, that it is a little difficult to talk about one's own achievements. However, when we are in product development, it has to be a mix. You are researching and you are doing some degree of development, but at the same time, the business impact of it is equally important. And we find that the profile tends to be on the researcher side than on the business side. So I'm happy to note that you've made such a conscious decision. I'm hoping that through your interview and through this podcast, maybe other researchers who see this are also able to course correct and are able to not necessarily project inauthentically, but at least authentically project the achievements of their team.
Sure. Yeah.
So thank you for
That
sharing
makes
that.
a lot of sense.
Vivek, in terms of structuring the product development, it's a very challenging area. I mean, you have
Yeah.
constant demands coming in to improve current products, constant demand coming in to develop new products, new features. How does one manage this? Is there a framework that you found which was useful? Is there some insight that helped you manage this very challenging task of phenomenal amount of demands, all of them requiring to be met urgently and immediately, as opposed to the limited capacity to deliver on this?
I think historically, more often than not, it has been largely unstructured, right? When there is a small company that has a lot of things to do, you keep running around to meet all the expectations possible, right? As you grow, you start realizing that some kind of a structure is definitely helpful, right? And one of the things that we learned in interactions with Vernalis was about categorizing projects into horizons, right? Uh, something which is currently ongoing, which is core to you, right? Things like reducing cost, improving current units performance. The Horizon 2, which is essentially catering to emerging needs. Horizon 3, where you want to expand further to innovate on new things, invest in core R&D, maybe catering to new markets or new technologies altogether. And probably it's also a matter of your own ethos or your own character call as to what does the company want to do. Maybe putting some numbers in place to see how much of Horizon 1, how much of Horizon 2, and how much of Horizon 3 makes sense for us. I think that helps a lot to prioritize projects, to see how how we can do all of them and still have some kind of prioritization in mind. Right. Connected to that is the project board exercise that we started taking up. Our old project board used to be maybe a list of items that we want to do, including big items and small items. As we evolved further, speaking with the Vernalis team, learning more about systems and processes, putting timelines and resources requirement in place, categorize them into horizons, into what kind of prioritization should be there, setting the right kind of expectation that okay, this is the limited amount of resources we have. A very crystal clear picture is presented to the rest of the team, for example, a sales team or a finance team. They automatically understand that all of these may not be required, and hence I would need to also prioritize them. So where the project board at least is in a stage where we are able to have cross-functional meetings very, very clearly.
I remember, Vivek, when the first time we did the math of summing up all the effort required across the projects, it had come to like 2x or 3x the total capacity of
Yeah.
available man-days, and that was quite a surprise to all of us.
Yeah.
It's only when the number came out and there was a realization, and it was visible to all, that it is not about inefficiency as much as the fact that there is so much more demand, and therefore delivery on such a high demand with respect to installed capacity being X is an unrealistic expectation. So I feel that in that meeting itself, there was a lot of realization with that computation that demands have to be more realistic.
As a just for the benefit of the audience as well, I also want to mention that it helps you reject items efficiently as well. And that's very, very important. The moment a framework is put into place, which helps you either accept a project or reject a project based on all the constraints. So it helps shorten the list and maybe making it more and more focused and granular to be able to achieve your long-term goals better. Even today, all the projects listed down together, even though they are prioritized, would probably amount to 3x, right? But the good thing is that the moment you know that it is 3x, you don't have a very ad hoc hiring plan. You don't open positions like, okay, one position here, one position. You actually take a proper call that if this is going to be the status, this is how we are going to progress. we should plan for the future in this manner, even in terms of evolution of the team. Have clarity on how many people to hire, how many people to groom further to take up new projects and those kind of things.
I think we also used it very effectively for a hiring decision, whom we were looking to hire for Ecozen. And we opened up the project board to him and we asked him for his suggestions on how to prioritize, his estimates on times. I felt that simulation gave us great insights into the thinking of that candidate. What is your view?
Definitely. First of all, helps you do a reality check about the fitment as well. If a long list is put in front of a person, it automatically gives you some feedback about how that person thinks about it. To ensure that he's not necessarily bogged down by the long list, but maybe comes up with his own frame of mind or his own thought processes regarding how to process this list and how would he or she take it up once it becomes their prime responsibility to run that board, right? So yeah, very very valuable. Apart from this, which was very very interesting that we did, I think in general we have learned from Vernalis about hiring in a simulation environment better, like with respect to behavioral analysis, with respect to competency based analysis. So yeah, that incident I remember very clearly. It was very interesting.
Vivek, you mentioned about leadership, and I want to now come to an aspect which is very, very critical: the quality of leadership and its impact on R&D productivity, product development productivity. Vivek, you yourself a very competent professional. You're from IIT Kharagpur. You are perhaps you have several patents on your name. I also have heard that you came up with a patent piece of data analytics software or algorithm to work through the data lake, something like that, which was impressive. So given all of this and the urge to work and solve problems as an individual contributor, how does it feel to let go and become a leader and create systems, processes? Was that an easy shift, a difficult shift? What was it?
Our products offering have been a summation of motor controls, thermal energy storage, IoT and analytics, solar as a subject matter itself, which in itself is quite complex. If you start analyzing it deeper and deeper. So I knew for a fact that I can't be an expert in everything. Right? So I have at least tried to become a jack of all such trades that we have been doing. I built things from ground up myself as well, but I do consider, there are other people who are much better than me at this. I definitely feel that it's very important to have people who are subject matter experts in those areas, holding their own charge. So I definitely believe in decentralization, and a large part of that has become successful. I've seen that people have taken up leadership positions. They have grown further from beyond, individual contributor and leading, being able to lead the team. Yeah.
So how does the fact, does the fact that you're becoming a better leader or have become a better leader, has that had a significant impact on the productivity of R&D? Or is leadership incidental or complementary to good R&D leadership, and technical leadership is all that counts?
The moment you start growing, team starts becoming bigger. In order to perform or take out the best out of people, it is the behavioral aspect of things that definitely helps, and that is something that I definitely learned with Vernalis. This is especially maybe more important for R&D as well, if not the most important, because as R&D folks, we also tend to work with a certain pace, with a certain mindset, with a certain team behavior. Maybe let's say a 10 people team, right? Developing something. In that team of maybe 10 people or 8 people, there will be at least 2 or 3 people who are senior enough, who have good amount of experience from the industry. But the moment everyone starts to participate, and that even the junior most guy is given the chance. In fact, we have learned from Vernalis that in fact the person who is having the least credibility in the room should be allowed to speak first. If that is done, I think good things start happening. Right? There are ideas out of the box that people come up with that you consider. You listen to them, you understand, contemplate, maybe give them the charge to work on as well, given that they are the ones who have shown that conviction. It becomes very important. So I have learned personally several new things about leadership through with Vernalis. Another simple one is maybe the style of giving feedback. Right? The way feedback should be given to a team so that it constructively helps that person to grow and maybe contribute in a better manner. Task relationship balance is one more thing that it was quite impactful. The two people in the equation are having a common goal, that is development of the organization or making things better. So how do you ensure that the task is not getting hampered with the right kind of relationship? Is another thing that I have definitely learned.
Vivek, it's been wonderful spending this time with you, and I really want to compliment you for the integrity and honesty with which you enter into a conversation. It's very joyful to interact with you. Uh, I just wish that you and your team continue on your noble mission to generate good products for the benefit of humanity and for society, and that you succeed in this very challenging area of R&D and product development. I wish all sorts of challenges come your way so that you grow both as a leader and as a subject matter expert, and your team is able to collectively solve these problems. So, best wishes, Vivek. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much for your kind words, Bharatji. I think Vernalis has been very, very instrumental in the last couple of years to help Ecozen, constantly grow from where we were and where we are now. I think it's a huge leap, and Vernalis has contributed immensely to that. I think there should be more and more such companies like Ecozen. I'm sure more and more exist like us. I think they should all get benefits out of what Vernalis has to offer. I hope with maybe such conversations or and maybe more of your interactions that happens. So it has been wonderful learning so far with you. And I keep looking forward to learning more, and wish you all the best as well, Bharat.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.